This is a particular incident in the Gospel of St. Mark, but the theme of Jesus in St. Mark's Gospel is a consistent theme that he is the source of creation, and that therefore he is the Lord of creation and the Lord of the natural order. And that when the natural order becomes terribly disturbed, and when it becomes violent, and when it becomes unwieldy and unruly, then the disciples, those who know that the Lord is the master of nature, the master of the world, cry out to him in fear and in desperation, and ask him please to calm the storm. The storm can be anything, in our personal lives, in our societies, and so forth. But given the things that have been happening in our contemporary world, we come to understand that tampering with nature, that taking to ourselves that which belongs specifically to God, becomes a time of great disturbance and great violence. We find, for instance, even in the Holy Father's new encyclical, in his section on human ecology, where he shows, for instance, that, and he argues that the whole business with abortion and gender reassignment and all those kinds of things is an intrusion into the natural order and an attempt to claim for ourselves that which belongs to God. And it sends a message that we are the lords and the masters of nature, and that we have no need of a God. When we do that, when we say to ourselves, we are the masters of nature, we are the masters of the universe, we are the masters of the created order, what happens is that oftentimes when we grasp that control, we grasp it for the sake of evil and not of good. When we grasp control of that and we say human life only has value in its relationship to me personally, and that therefore I am able to dispose of it as I want, whenever I want. And what we find then is even the American government, but Planned Parenthood and all the other dark organizations of the world are saying, we are the masters and the Lord of the universe. We will kill whom we please. We will take what lives we desire. And then we hear that, and we think of what happened in South Carolina. Someone said, it's inconvenient for me, for these people to be alive. Mad as he probably is, it is a culture that says, take what you want out of the natural order. Do what you will with created being. For it, after all, you are its master. You are its determiner. You are its Lord. Down the street, a very dear friend of many of you faced the very same thing in the killing of Officer Kim. The same thing. The idea that somehow or other I have a right to be the master of the creation, of God's creation, and I can take it when I want it for whatever purpose I desire. When we create a culture of idolatry, a culture that rejects the created order, then we find ourselves in the boat with the apostles, but with no Lord to call upon, with no master of the universe to calm the storm, no one to turn to, and no one to cry to in humanity's great need. We have before us then a larger picture. Whatever the weaponry might be, in Austria yesterday, a man with a car ran into deliberately a crowd of people, killed 350. It doesn't matter what the choice of the weapon is. If we decide that we are the lords of the universe and the masters of nature, and we can take what we want and destroy what we want, then whatever tools we use are used, not because they in themselves are evil, but because they are useful to me, who is the master of the world in which I live. It's really very interesting to me. There's something that rings in my mind with all of this. If you remember Timothy McVeigh, the one that blew up the government building in Oklahoma City, it's really interesting. he quoted William Henry's poem Invictus when he went to his death in Indianapolis. And the line of the poem that he quoted was, "I am the captain of my ship, I am the master of my soul." He was in the boat, in the storm, without the Lord. And so he felt himself as the master of the natural order. When we do that, we come to become the destroyers of the gift that God has given us. We are the guardians of God's creation, and we are his servants and his disciples. We call upon him in our great needs, and he alone is the master of nature. This morning, as we reflect upon this gospel, picture ourselves in a way tossed on the storms of the sea, and ask ourselves, where do we turn and where do we go? And there is only one place where there is power and benevolence and care and love for all that is, and that is the Lord, the master of the created order, the one who gives us life, and the only one entitled to take it away.